Welcome, horror fam, to HHN 365, a Halloween Horror Nights podcast. My name is Mike, and as always, I'm with my co-hosts Jess and Jonathan. We're rolling Duffless tonight.
Ooh, Duffless.
Saying stuff.
Sand stuff.
Duffless.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, it's just the three of us.
Just the three.
Yeah.
Eventually, at one point, we'll have all four of us, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Everybody on the YouTube live is always like, before we go live, we can see the chat, and people will be like, "I hope it's the whole team," and it's Duff and I in the background going, "Can't wait to disappoint him again."
We'll have to make it happen. We'll have to make it happen. On today's show, we will be going over the most recent spec map, as well as a bunch of news and rumors. We have a lot to cover, but before we get to it, as always, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at HHN365, and on TikTok at HHN365pod. We have an amazing Discord community. Please join us, and the link is in the description. And we have a merch shop at HHN365.com. You can leave us a voicemail at 407-906-4134. Let's get to it. So, a bit of housekeeping. Thank you for showing up to the lives. I have not shown up to one yet, but thank you guys. How the lives been going, Jess?
Oh, they're great. They're honestly like my favorite part of the week, and it's good that they're early in the week too, because like it starts out on a good foot. We always have like a core group of people, and then like new people pop in and out. But we went for like almost 3 hours this week, so it was whew. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Unfortunately, Tuesdays my son has t-ball, so I'm watching
Ooh.
some t-ball action.
T-ball dad.
Yeah, I'm a t-ball dad now.
That's kind of cool, Mike.
Yeah,
that's a cool reason to miss out, though.
Yeah, he's gonna be joining a travel ball. No, I'm just made that up. He's
like
he's
T-ball to
5.
travel is a crazy pipeline. I think you're missing a few steps there.
Yeah, there's a lot of steps. He's only 5.
I've really enjoyed watching the lives. I haven't been on them in a bit and on the podcast for a bit because I've just been doing a lot of life stuff and life changes, but things are starting to slow down for me, which is good, and I'll be able to start doing this stuff a lot more. And I've missed talking about HHN and all that stuff. But I've gotten to watch the lives like during my breaks at work because I have like an hour or something break, and they've been amazing. So you guys have been doing a great job. They keep me entertained at work for sure, and I love reading the comments and everything. There's such fun times and a great way to just celebrate love of HHN and talk about all the rumors and news every single week and able to keep it updated instead of this podcast. So we're going to have a big backlog of news and rumors to cover.
Yeah, we have a lot to cover. That's for sure. I believe we've also hit a milestone on our YouTube channel. We have hit 1,000 subscribers. So thank you for that. If you're not subscribed yet, you can always join us over there. Yeah, there'll be stuff to come.
We're almost in announcement season. Well, not really, but it's coming. Eventually we'll get there.
When do I know we had like a little voting thing, and you guys also said April, right?
I said the end of March the first time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
think I said after the opening of Epic. So I don't think I'm going to be right, but I said like June at the earliest.
Oh, that's my new guess.
I think we're getting something before then. I don't know.
You know what? I might as well bring this up now because I forgot to put it later in the outline, and I don't want to add it. But basically, HHN Legacy came out and said straight up he thinks the first announcement will be in June. Oh. So that's the current rumor. That's currently what's being thrown around. And I mean, how do we feel about that?
I mean, it makes sense to me. It makes sense that you don't want to overshadow all of the hype that is for Epic. You have a lot of content coming out with the vloggers and all this free advertising that they're getting of this rollout for Epic. You don't want to overshadow that, all of it, to have people switch gears to start talking about your own event. Mm-hmm. You want to kind of shift gears later and not overshadow your own thing. It makes sense to me.
Yeah. Epic has helped fill the gap in this period of time, between, just rumors and announcements, with having Dark Universe to, fuel our soul for a little bit. In the meantime, it's really good to help that period. And well, I can wait another month. I think I can.
Oh yeah, I got Rockville in 2 weeks. I'm not even thinking about HHN
Oh
announcements until you
yeah.
ask. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be digging through the ditches and burning through the witches in 2 weeks with Rob Zombie.
Oh.
No, I did before we move on from 365 news though. Duff and I were talking the other day, and we lied to all of our beautiful listeners and viewers. We
Oh
said
no.
we were going to be able to do Tuesday again this coming week for our live, and we cannot. So I think it's going to be on Monday again. There'll be social media posts about it for sure, but it will definitely not be on Tuesday this week. Probably
Gotcha.
Monday.
Got it.
So keep posted for that one.
Yeah.
All right. Are we ready to move on to news and rumors?
Yes.
All right. Where do we want to start? Do we want to start on the West Coast?
I think that's a great idea. Because as much as we are Orlando people, we talk about Orlando more often than not. That's our home park. During this part of the season, every single year, Hollywood has more news and stuff to talk about. Unfortunately, even though Orlando's our home park, because you can see construction out there very clearly. And not only can you see construction, you can formulate theories and thoughts based on what is being put up for the facades, or sometimes in Kevin's case, what you can see on the floor in the in the tents, just from public areas, of course. And before we get started, I want to say thank you to our friend Kevin for taking pictures for us and videos and stuff like that throughout uh, like the past couple weeks, past couple months when construction started, because we've had a post inside, like at Universal Studios Hollywood, of these tents for like almost once every week, or sometimes multiple times every week. He's been keeping all of us updated. So thank you, Kevin, and thank you for giving us your theories that we're going to be talking about in just a little bit.
Yeah. Thank you, Kevin.
Our friend Kevin, that no one knows.
I've met Kevin.
You have met Kevin, but
Yeah.
everyone else, it's like I see comments on our Twitter whenever you post a tweet of just like one of his construction updates, and we go, our friend Kevin, and someone under it goes, "Who's Kevin?" Just like,
Who is this Kevin?
Did I meet Kevin?
no, you did not
Oh,
meet Kevin.
I was like, what?
No, only I met Kevin.
Okay.
I believe during our our Universal Hollywood trip, you and Duff went to go see a movie. Do you
You
remember?
mean take a nap at the movie
Yeah,
theater? Yeah.
AKA take a nap in the movie theater, because it was a very long
Oof.
trip. While you seeing a movie, we met up with our friend Kevin.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Wow, I was like, did I meet Kevin and not realize it? Like, damn. It would be a big moment for me. I'd be like, our friend Kevin.
Next time, it's gonna happen.
Oh, it has to happen.
Absolutely.
Does our friend Kevin come out to Orlando? That's the real question.
He went once in 31, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I met him there too.
Oh, did you?
Or maybe we just talked about it. I don't know.
Maybe.
Might just be meeting Kevin.
Yeah. We need to talk about Kevin. No, not
Is
not
Mike
that Kevin.
actually Kevin? Is that the gag?
It's very possible.
You're moonlighting on the West Coast for us.
No, he's real. I met him. He's not my imaginary friend.
You wrote Secret Life of Pets with them. But
Yeah, we did.
Not slop.
All right, we can stop talking about Kevin.
I will never stop talking about Kevin.
Moving into the construction, we are going to start with something very easy, very simple, no crazy theories. The Mummy Q tent is now up, which a lot of people, for some reason, were thinking was not going to happen, even though Murdy said it was going to happen, and guess what? It happened. And along with this tent came the return of the extended ending. And if you guys don't know what that is, essentially after the tent is finished, there's like a little bit more house that is added for like a little extra, pizzazz, a little extra final moment. And it's usually been in the Mummy Q tents, but it was just taken away or not in Dead Exposure, Death Valley for some reason. but it came back now, which is great. A lot of people though were thinking that this was like this is where the facade is, and even though it was not, it was very clearly a floor layout. It was not a facade. But don't worry, Murdy has confirmed that the facade will be on the same side it usually is. So this is guaranteed to be an extended part of the house and not a facade. And last part to talk about is that he has stated that this tent will be an intellectual property house.
Gotcha. Is this the thing that people thought it was for FanFest nights too? There's like a lot of debate on Twitter about like what was for FanFest and what
That's
wasn't.
not Jurassic World. I thought was that
Jurassic, yeah, it's the Jurassic one. We'll talk. Well, actually, it
We'll get
wasn't
to
that. It was H lot. Something H lot popped up, and everyone was like, "Is this for FanFest?" And it's like, no, it's
Oh.
not for FanFest. Why would this be for FanFest? So I'm always grateful that Murdy comes out and helps confirm things that are, what they are, and so like people don't have to like defend themselves like, no, I promise that's the extended ending. It's like, I don't know, it looks like a facade to me. No, it isn't.
Yeah, say what you will about Murdy on Twitter. He corrects the record. He doesn't like misinformation. He does not let misinformation stay out there. He likes to correct the record as soon as he possibly can. He will correct the record.
Especially when it comes to 2-story mausoleums, he will make sure.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Don't get him started on a 2-story mausoleum.
But yeah, I will say Kevin does have a theory on what this is. We are not going to share it. But Kevin does have a good theory that I'm sure will come up eventually later when the facade and everything, moves further along. But that's all I'll say on this particular Mumby Q tent.
Kevin's never wrong. That's all we'll say.
That's true.
That
Very
needs
true.
to be the shirt for this season. Is Kevin or in Kevin we trust? Kevin's never wrong. Like I don't know what it is, but
We'll figure it out. That would be an amazing shirt.
Yeah,
Everyone knows Kevin at this point.
I'll never doubt Kevin again after he was totally nailed the Ghostbusters Ray's gift shop thing. Ray's bookstore. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He nailed that way before. There was like, it was just like a little twinkling in John Murdy's eye, and he was able to nail it.
It's kind of scary, like how much of a talent he has for that.
Mm-hmm. The thing we're about to talk about, which he figured out by looking at the floor of the house layout, just the wood you can see on the floor. But who wants to take this? Because I think this is a very easy one to cover here. The T-pad.
Sure. So the T-pad 10 is up. The facade is very clearly and like every day has more on it to make it look more like a replica of Scarecrow the Reaping facade from 2022, 3?
22, I think.
Okay. 2022, pretty much just confirming what we already know, that this house is coming back as one of those beautiful Hollywood repeats.
Yeah. And how do we feel? How do we feel about that?
Bad.
We feel
very angry.
Very angry. I did this last time.
It was, Jonathan, no like.
I don't like this. I will like be very blunt and why say many words when few words do trick? It just this is.
He's a poet.
No, it's just an Office line. But
I'm sorry. I don't like The Office.
Understandable, very understandable. I think repeating this house is a bad idea. Like, I understand money, budget, timing, a lot of things, go into us ending up having repeats. I feel like Hollywood deserves better. Like, I think they've proven that they make enough money and do enough that you don't need a repeat of a house that was 3 years ago. It's a great house. It's a stunning, probably top 3 Hollywood house. But it's coming back in in 3 years. That's kind of unacceptable to me. And I know there are people who are like, "Oh, repeats are okay," and in Hollywood. I don't know. I think repeats were okay in a time right after the pandemic and when they were like getting back on their feet and they had a couple years where you know they're still gaining what they lost. They weren't at the point they were yet. But last year was the first year that Hollywood didn't have repeats in a while, unless you count Insidious because it kind of had lots of elements from the other houses, but I'm not really counting that. It's basically a completely new year with no repeats at all. And it just felt all new. Like it was so cool to not have any repeats. And now we're back to this. And we're back to this with a house that just happened. And it's also coming to Horror Unleashed the same year.
Yeah.
They're gonna hurt one of my favorite houses at Hollywood, and it's gonna taint it because I'm not gonna want to do it more than like 3 times, probably. You know, unless I have RIP and can do it multiple times. Because like, why would I? I've seen this house before. It's good, but I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. I don't like repeats.
Yeah. It's also we're Orlando people, so
Hmm.
not to, not say we're not spoiled out here. So like we have an expectation. Yeah, even though we go to Hollywood, like we know that's not how y'all operate. We know you don't get 10 new houses every year, and that's okay. We still love your event. That's why we go.
Hmm.
But this is, for me, someone who's only been going, this would be my 4th year going to Hollywood. This would be the first time a repeat I've already seen is there as well. So like,
Oh, really?
I think so. I'm
Like
pretty
a
sure.
full repeat, right?
I'm pretty sure. I don't think they've repeated anything. I'm probably wrong. I mean, somebody will correct me, but I've been going since 2022. Yeah,
No, this is
no,
this is the first. This is my first repeat too that I've seen. Like we've seen
yeah.
repeats before, but
Like a
none of
repeat
them
for
that
me.
we've
I've seen
seen.
Hollywood
Yeah,
repeats. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Right.
Same.
Maybe you must just have missed, like, because I know that there were some that were repeats, but you must have just missed them.
Yeah, it had to have been. But like,
Like Pandora's Box, I'm pretty sure was like didn't that repeat like back to back, like nearly the
I
same?
believe so.
It
Yeah,
did, and it
yeah.
was not a very good house.
And I like just missed all of that stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've been kind of spoiled. So I'm still gonna go to the event, and I'm not gonna really bitch about it. But this will probably be towards the bottom, anyways, for me.
There's
Just yeah,
there's no way this isn't at my bottom because I've seen it. Like I've seen the
yeah.
house, so
And I
there's no
loved
hype.
it when I saw it. I really did. It was like my 1 or 2. I'm pretty sure when we finished out that year.
Yeah,
Can
it
we
was a
count
very good
Evil
house.
Dead Rise and as a repeat?
I don't think so, because to me it felt, I don't know. Evil Dead, just like I ignored it, and then the hotel. Wait, no. Evil Dead was better than the hotel because it felt correct.
I
That's what it was.
understand the opinion.
Yeah,
I don't agree, but I
right,
understand.
right. And I get your opinion as well. It was a repeat, but I could just kind of disassociate enough where it wasn't.
For a lot of people who did both, I think they felt like it was a repeat. It wasn't a repeat. It was different, but to a lot of people it kind of just felt like a repeat.
The layout and the sets were the same, so I'll give you that. I get it. Yeah,
But
Scarecrow.
are we ready to move on to the
I
H slot?
I think we
Please.
are.
So I'm gonna take this one because there's a little bit well Kevin explained it to me and so I want to try to explain it, but on H slot north, the where Ghostbusters Frozen Empire was last year, the facade is being constructed for that tent, and it looks, I'm not gonna say it looks very similar, but Kevin's theory right now is that this is the Terrifier funhouse from Terrifier 2. And every time you see a very early facade and Kevin says something, I believe him. And I might not see it with my own eyes, but I go, okay, Kevin, I believe you. This is definitely the Terrifier funhouse from Terrifier 2. And what he did for people on Twitter and Instagram who have seen our social media at HHN365, he actually took the Terrifier funhouse and laid it over the facade, and it matches almost exactly where the doors are on the funhouse, even with the right door that has like sort of gates on it, has like a little like little like in jail cells what they hold the prisoners with. Um, it has those on both the picture and the facade. So that is why I trust Kevin, and I believe that this H slot tent is going to be the Terrifier Funhouse. And I mean, there you go. What did you have? You guys seen the picture?
No, I'm trying to Google it right now. Well, I haven't seen his overlay picture, but I don't even know what the Terrifier
Oh,
Funhouse
it's
looks
good.
like.
Like the overlay photo, when Duff showed it to me on the live, I was like, oh, well, I mean, put Art the Clown out front right now.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and like I've seen people go back and forth, like, oh no, those are windowsills. That's not a doorway. Like, I I don't know. It
Oh, I see
very
it.
much is the same
Yep, I see it.
to me, at
It,
least.
it came up on Google. Our Instagram pulled it up. If
That's so
I just
funny.
Googled Terrifier Funhouse, and it was like the first result is our Instagram.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Okay, I see it. Yeah.
it's almost like it's crazy because Kevin didn't like squish anything. He didn't like do any crazy, image altering things. He just took the picture and overlaid it on the facade, and it fits like a puzzle piece.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say like, it's definitely this just yet, but Kevin has not steered us wrong with facades like ever. He did one time, and that was it. And like a couple years ago, like every other time, he's been completely spot on. So I'd say to everyone listening out there, put your trust in Kevin because we do.
There's the shirt.
Put your trust.
And then
in
on the
Kevin.
back, because we do.
Yes.
365 approved stamp.
Put your trust in Kevin. Because we do.
Oh, we've expanded our West Coast team. It's not just John from the hotline. It's Kevin. It's our friend Kevin.
Exactly.
He's real.
I promise. It's not just John in a wig. All right, what's next?
South.
South.
We've done the north, and we're on to the south.
And this is where Insidious was last year on the H slot.
Oh, this is the so it looks like the facade. Well, someone could take this. I don't know how to word these.
Here, I'll get this too because I have a very important message from Kevin that I want to relay. But this is the Poltergeist house. Let's be honest here. The facade is clearly identical to 2018's Poltergeist facade that they had at HHN Hollywood. It's Poltergeist. No one is this. Everyone is believing it now. There's no question. There's not much else to say about the facade itself. We've talked about it a lot, but it is important to mention. I wasn't here, and I was kind of just dealing with a lot of stuff, and was able to put things in the outline that I needed to, and and everything like that. But I wanted to say very early on when this facade came out, it was just like wood. You couldn't really tell anything. Not only did Kevin tell me that this was Poltergeist very early on, just by looking at it and using Kevin's knowledge, but Alex and Bush from our Discord server also did. They both worked together. They both figured it out. And I want to give credit to Alex and Bush. It's not just Kevin on this one. It's also that member of our Discord server. So thank you so much for also pointing out Poltergeist. And I just wanted to make sure that the credit is given where credit is due. But with that said, have we all gotten enough Poltergeist conversation, or do we have more thoughts on it?
I mean, I didn't experience Poltergeist in 2018, nor do I. I'm gonna probably be able to make it over there, so I don't have strong thoughts. But again, it would be another repeat. This would be the concern for most people. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There are like theories, like Legacy said, that he believes John Murdy wants to plus this up and do it sort of similar to how Orlando did it, which, I mean, to be fair, the facade is already not similar to how Orlando did it because it's completely different,
Right.
basically. But I can see the inside of the house because the problem with that house is that it was budget cut to hell. If you watch a POV, which I'm not going to now because I don't want to this close when I know there's going to be rooms that are exactly the same. But when you watch a POV, half of the house is black walls. And it's upsetting because the rooms that are there are really good. Um, but the rooms that aren't are not good at all. They're just black walls. And that's why that house wasn't very good to a lot of people. I would love to see a world where the black wall problem is fixed and it's a full house. And I hope that's what this is. I hope, but I also hope I have a fear that it's going to be like Killer Clowns, where the black walls and the problems in that house still existed in the repeat, and they did not change it at all. But we'll see. I have a little bit of hope, and I want this to be great because Poltergeist is my first ever house in Orlando, and I kind of want to see Hollywood's take in person because it's just sort of sentimental to me, that property. So I'm not as against this, especially because I haven't seen it myself. I still don't like repeats, but I'm not against this as I am Scarecrow that appeared 3 years ago, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 2018 is quite a while ago. Doesn't feel like it, but it really was.
Yeah, it was
Like
what, 7
years.
years. Yeah, 7 years ago. No, I feel the same way you do, Jonathan. Like I obviously saw it out here. I didn't see it in Hollywood, but I'm more, I guess, bothered by Scarecrow because I've seen it. So, um, I loved our Poltergeist. I think I'll be disappointed because I loved her so much. But Duff and I were talking again in the live about this, and like this is a whole other generation of people that go to HHN now. So even like if you're a Hollywood local and you only started going in the last 5 years, you didn't see this. So this is like this gets a big pass, I think, from a lot of
Yeah, it's
people
not a
because of
repeat to
that.
most people.
Yeah, only if you're like you're in it or you've just been going a while.
Yep. And it's a repeat that has a lot of potential to get better. Like it can only get better, this house. Hopefully.
Or it stays the same
I don't want that.
because it's
But
Hollywood.
yeah. I don't want to think about that. But does anyone want to think about the next piece of news we have here?
Yeah, looks like Black Tent has been spotted in the Jurassic World queue, and Murdy has confirmed that this is indeed for HHN.
Exciting new location that isn't really new. The last time it was used was 2017, but new to us.
Yeah, that's fun. So this is like okay. So we were talking about this on Tuesday. I'm trying to. We talked about Hollywood so much. I was so bad at like house locations. I still am. We know this, but like I could not even remember what was in like places last year. So I was like, wait. So this is like the tent that they had up where the merge point was for Soundstage 12 is where this house is going to be pretty much.
Yes.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Fascinating. That's just how I feel about Hollywood in general.
It's a very fascinating park. It's one of the most interesting theme parks you can go to, just in terms of layout.
The logistics, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And according to Kevin, I'm pretty sure he believes that this size of tent will be about the same size as the normal T-pad tent. We've already covered, I think we have, that the T-pad tent we have currently for Scarecrow the Reaping, well, rumored, speculated to be Scarecrow the Reaping, but come on, is bigger. And a lot of the times when Hollywood makes something bigger in a location, it's because they're trying to fit something in there that already existed. So it makes sense why Scarecrow's is a little bigger, because the H-Lot tents are bigger. But they probably took the original T-pad tent, I'm thinking, and put it here, and it's about the same size as like the Texas tent, and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
But I mean, I know there's not like a lot to talk about in terms of like, a new location, but what is interesting to talk about is that Murdy has finished all of his treatments. We have all locations basically. I'm pretty sure he's confirmed Ube. He's confirmed like all the places or whatever. And I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he has. And there is no construction in Soundstage 12, which was where the Eternal Bloodlines house was last year. So it's looking like Soundstage 12 is being replaced by this tent. And that has me excited because as cool as Soundstage 12 is history wise, getting there was a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
I had RIP. No, I didn't have RIP. No, I did have RIP. And we all did. And crossing that road took 20 minutes because every time you walked up and walked out of that road, walk from the tent and walk to the soundstage and from the soundstage, there was always like a 20-minute wait for cars to pass, and it felt like RIP didn't even matter because no matter what, you're waiting 25 minutes that you could be spending, looping other houses with the ticket. And I know that's very like, that it's not a common thing. Not everyone has that problem. It feels kind of, selfish in a way, but I don't like waiting 20 minutes for something that I'm using like an express pass for that I should be able to get in instantly. It just takes away so much time of the day when you only have one day basically to do all this. It like takes up a good chunk. So I'm happy the soundstage is not being used.
Remind me what house was in there when we all went together.
Nothing.
Yeah,
Oh, it was
didn't.
not used that year.
Yeah.
Nope.
I was gonna say because I don't remember
We didn't have
crossing a
that
road.
experience.
I was trying. I was having an existential crisis when you were talking about. I was like, I wasn't drinking.
You blacked out.
I had no drinks that day, but I don't remember this at all.
The road portion of the trip did not leave an impact on you at all.
Again, I was very confused during that.
No, it was also very confusing walking there the first time, like to go to the maze last year. I was like, oh, and every time I thought we were almost there, I was like, we're not by a soundstage yet. And then we just kind of kept walking. And then at night, we ran it twice, like right at the end of the night, and there was nobody around. And I looked at the team member and I said, "Can I please walk over that rope right now? Because I will cry if you make me walk all the way down and back to go through this again." And he goes, "Yeah, you can go." And I said, "Oh, you're amazing." And I walked over the rope because if I had to walk back around, I was not doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm very excited by a closer location.
It's probably gonna be the same size as that house that was in there because they did not use that space well at all.
Oh my god, Mike, you walked in, and like the way that it was, it's not like an Orlando soundstage house where you walk in through just like a door. You walked in through a bay, like the bay was open. The
Oh,
big ass
okay.
soundstage doors.
Yeah.
And then
Uh-huh.
the maze was like 150 feet back into the building, and there was just nothing in front of it.
Okay, and there was like no corridor like we normally get for
No,
like
nothing.
Insidious or whatever.
It was just open and vulnerable, and you could see the whole fucking maze facade when you walked like half a mile away from the soundstage.
Gotcha. That's so weird. And not like Stranger Things where they like have queue leading up to it or anything. No,
No,
you just walked in. That's crazy.
it was just there, and then the queues were just like in front of it, like it fed out into that. And then there was no AC in there. There is no AC in there.
Yeah,
Apparently.
we talked about the AC problem
Yeah.
last week on the show. That's
But
very strange to me.
that was like, for me, I expected like, well, yeah, the tents don't have AC because they would have to install that themselves. This isn't Florida. But like the sound stages, yeah, I know it's a historical soundstage, but like it's 2025. You can put an air conditioning unit in there.
Yep.
Like you can install them. We're Floridians. We're passionate about air conditioning over here.
Yeah, no, that's another thing. I've heard that it was so hot for the scare actors. It just like was uncomfortable. And in any location, if there's like if they're not able to do their job and they're working in a terrible like work environment because they're just hot and sweating the whole time, get rid of that location. Not worth it. I don't care about the
Yeah.
historical significance. If you're not going to put an air conditioner in there to help the scare actors, get rid of it. Like it's not worth it.
Right. Ugh, it's inhumane.
Yeah. Apparently it was built in 1928.
That's crazy.
Historical.
A million things were filmed in there.
I'm trying to pull up of them so we can, but my internet's going too slow. So.
Bride of Frankenstein. I think pretty sure Frankenstein.
Oh, okay. So like the class Universal classic
Yeah,
monsters.
monster movies were like made in that soundstage. So having a monster house in there was cool.
That
You
is
know,
pretty cool.
it was
That
Eternal
is pretty
Bloodlines
cool.
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But that's like why I think we ran it multiple times too. I was like, well, we're here in this soundstage. Might as well soak it up a little bit.
And we're not crossing this road
Yeah,
again for a little bit.
No, I'm not fucking crossing the road that Mike does not remember.
Dracula,
Oh wow.
Harvey, the Sting, Earthquake. So Scarface,
Oh
Back to
wow.
the Future. So a lot of Jurassic Park apparently.
Wow. Eternal Bloodlines.
Yeah.
That's gonna be on the list now.
Eternal Bloodlines.
Yeah, I get to the end and it's just
Universal Monsters, Eternal Bloodlines.
I believe the last time it was used for filming was The Voice.
Oh.
Yeah,
It
I
was
don't know
used for the
the-
base for the first 17 seasons of the US version of The Voice. It moved out in January 2020 when the production office around stage 12 were demolished in preparation for the area being redeveloped.
Oh.
So that's why it was available to be used, I guess, for HHN last year.
Well, there we go.
Well, apparently they're renovating it, or they're gonna renovate it finally.
I hope so.
Me too. If not, take it out to pasture. All right.
Breaching Courtyard.
That's your history lesson.
I'm glad we did a deep dive into that. Well,
Yeah.
Breaching Courtyard, the tent has been put up with walls around it. And those walls, I guess, are really interesting because there's some tall walls that have been spotted, and tall walls are normally for stoat walkers. So, but this location normally has like a stoat walker in the center portion, like the outside part sometimes, or even the inside part. But
That's what I'm thinking. I think that's where those walls were found. Because you can see it because that portion is like outside and like you can just see it from like a public area of the park. And yeah, I think we should expect some stilt walkers in here, which is kind of interesting considering the rumor right now is Isle of the Dolls. So maybe it'll be like a giant doll, or it's not that. We'll see.
Right. It's just a big doll. It's one of, you know what it is? It's one of those my like size Barbies that are like 3 feet tall. You know what I'm
Oh
talking
yeah.
about? But it's like a big ass version. Oh God. I'm so sorry, Hollywood people.
But
do I have to do it?
yes.
I'm mad at him.
Oh, I didn't even post the thing that you're mad at. I'm gonna add that to the outline.
No. Murdy tweets. What's this asshole up to? That's the new version.
Is that the end of the song?
That's how I'm ending it now, I think. When I'm mad at him, that's the ending of the song. What's this asshole up to?
We get like 45 minutes with this guy. He has been tweeting a lot.
Right. And has he been spicy? Let's find out.
Yes.
Well, I mean, shocking, Jonathan. Like,
what's interesting about this particular section of Murdy tweets is that he had a Q&A. He hasn't had a Q&A in a while. But basically in his Q&As, he just says, ask me anything, I'll answer whatever I can. And if you ask me something I can't answer, I'll put this gif of this guy, like, going, And he... I don't know what it is. It's just some guy, and he just like a shocked look on his face. And he posts that when someone asks him, like, what houses are coming this year? He just posts that guy. It's really funny. But we do have some interesting things along with some just things overall that don't particularly relate to this year. But this comment does. He stated that H Lot North has his favorite facade this year. And as we talked about before, this is currently speculated to be Terrifier by Kevin, particularly the Terrifier funhouse from Terrifier 2. And I would not be shocked if that would be his favorite facade, frankly, because he's a carny person. He's very carnival. And I feel like that would be up his alley.
That would
I
make
mean, have you
sense.
seen the guy? He's a carny. I'm so mad you added that tweet at that, and I saw you type it.
Yes, I
I
did.
hate you. I hate you. Okay,
But you missed me on the last live. I heard that
did.
part.
You know what? I forget that you watch those things.
I do. I'm
I need
always
to
there lurking.
I need to stop being nice about you guys when you're not around. Well, something John and I can agree on is his favorite theme for the Terror Tram was Hollywood Harry. Because he's a carny.
That makes sense.
I kind of get it, though.
It's a good choice. It's like his icon. Like, that's the, you know,
he kept bringing him back. Like, he clearly likes the dude.
Right. Even though, I mean, Eli Roth helped, so.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Borderlands. Anyways.
Did Eli Roth direct Borderlands?
Yes.
Oh, I had no idea. I thought
He
you
did.
were just saying things.
No, he did. Eli Roth made Borderlands, and it like was an awful flop that everyone said was terrible. Yeah.
Oh, God.
I'm just gonna, whenever Eli Roth is brought up, I'm just gonna say Borderlands.
It's the correct response.
Oh my God. I missed you guys.
It's been a while. It has been a while.
Oh my God. Oh, my little cold dead heart. It's so full right now.
It's just not the same when Duff and I are recording. It really
You don't get random comments.
I get it.
No,
Yeah.
Borderlands.
You don't get what this asshole up to.
Yeah.
That's what we bring to the show. It's the ADHD. Oh my God. Okay, somebody read this next fucking tweet.
Where are we?
Right here.
All right. So he was also asked, will we ever see Pulsed experience like FanFest? It's a different crowd size. I guess I'd love to do a more Pulsed experience, but at the end of the day, it's a balance of a throughput and wait times. So,
meaning no.
That's the answer. Is I would like to, but I can't. This is not going to happen.
Yeah, and it's funny because we're getting Scarecrow the Reaping, and they're getting Scarecrow the Reaping, and they're both going to be done in different ways in terms of how people are going to flow through that house. It's going to be very interesting to see. I know they had like one house, Pandora's Box, that had a opening moment that sometimes happened where people were kind of pulsed because like the door was closed and something happened and the door opened. But I don't know if they're ever going to have something like that again. But we'll see. But something more interesting to me.
Yeah, I'll let you take this one because I know.
Yeah.
All you.
Yeah. Someone asked, how well will the scenes from the Hurry Up Tomorrow movie compare to the sneak peek we got last year in the house? If you guys are unaware, last year's Nightmare Trilogy house, the Weekend Nightmare Trilogy, had a lot of references to Hurry Up Tomorrow, which John Murdy later said were pretty much from the movie. Like, there are references to the album, but most of the references are from the film itself, so he couldn't really say what they were yet. And so John Murdy replied to this comment. I guess I can say this now. I screened a rough cut in Abel's house back in January 2024, but like all things HHN.
Narcissist. I'm sorry, not to cut you off. I screened one.
That's my line, Mike.
Humble brag. John
I've been in Abel's house. Fuck off.
But he said he screened a rough cut in April's house back in January 2024. But like all things HHN, we put it through our filter, which makes sense because I mean we've seen clips of the trailer of Jenna Ortega taking the gasoline and going a weekend and burning them up, and she is not completely, at least what we've seen, her face is not completely burned and she doesn't have like big eyes, like black eyes. And I mean, it could happen in the movie, but I feel like a lot of the stuff that we did see was very Asianified. Like the weekend in
Yeah.
the chair laughing with the drugs, but like his eyes were like bulging out of his face. That's probably not going to be in the movie. So that makes sense.
Not to go on a tangent, but I think this movie's gonna effing suck. I
Really?
am really worried about. Yeah, I'm really worried about. I've seen the trailer a couple of times. Maybe I'm just like the Idol has scared me off with like the weekend ability to like write like visual media. His music videos are great, but I am concerned about Hurry Up Tomorrow.
I understand. I right now have hope because I really like the trailers. I really like the way the shots look from the trailers, the music, feels. But yeah, I mean, I have worry too because the Idol happened, and
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the Idol had a lot of problems, but most of those problems seems to come down to Abel digging in his heels and making it way worse. Like he was given too much liberty, and it was all the rumors come out that there was a lot of people who tried to prevent it, and uh, Abel is the one who made it the way it was.
yeah. Anyways,
I'm not saying nothing.
yeah, no, I figured we're just gonna move on.
Well, anything specific you had to research for the Terror Tram? A certain piece of music that my kids like.
To be fair, it was not written by him though. Apparently, I've just looked it up. I'm sure he had a lot of hands in it, but it was technically the screenplay only has one writer on the writer line, and that is by the director Trey Edwards Schultz.
I
So
thought it
we'll
was
see.
by like Guy Incognito, and it was just a weekend who wrote it.
I mean, maybe, maybe that's how it is. We'll see. If that's how it is, I'm very concerned. But we'll see. We can move on.
Yeah. Does anyone have any theories about what piece of music that his kids like influenced the Terror Tram or had anything to do with the Terror Tram? Because I don't know what his kids like.
How old are his kids? Like that's
They're
my
young. They're pretty young,
Baby
I
Shark.
think.
Baby Shark.
He had to research Baby Shark.
What is this Baby Shark? I must dive into this. Spend 2 hours learning all the ins and outs of this.
What's the motivation of Grandpa Shark? What has he been through? What's his life?
I got no fucking idea what this man had to research.
I don't know. How old are I don't know. I have no clue.
I just know they're young. I don't know their ages. I just know like his like in 2018, I think his daughter did like Carol Ann, like sort of that age range.
Okay, that was 7 years ago.
That's true, but they're still like yeah, maybe yeah.
Kids grow a lot in 7 years, Jonathan.
What is Carol
That's
Ann?
true.
I have no clue what you're saying.
Poltergeist.
No, Poltergeist, the little girl.
Okay, well, to be fair, you said her like government name like we were like we were just
Oh.
supposed to know that.
She was in the house. She was like
she like played her or something.
She was like
No, like, did the voice.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
I think she allowed her to be this character.
No.
She was the one just sitting there in front of the TV.
They brought her in from Ireland and put her to work.
I'm gonna guesstimate this man has like a 10-year-old,
Probably,
and like maybe like a young teenager, maybe 15 at the most, right? Like around there at this point, maybe.
I could
don't
see
know.
that.
So like Five Nights at Freddy's.
What are the kids listening to nowadays?
Put Five Nights at Freddy's in the Terror Tram. That's a great idea.
The costumes will fit.
And don't put them anywhere else. I love that idea.
Actually, put them in the Nope set specifically. That's what I want to see. Big ass robot. just in the fucking nope set.
Just fucking around.
I
I'm
mean,
just imagining.
that would be pretty great. I'm not gonna lie.
That's the RIP exclusive
It is.
experience this year. You're welcome. You are so welcome.
They're like, I'm coming. I'll get you. I'm gonna get you, but it's gonna take me a while.
Taking little steps, just
Oh my god.
They have their little show moment, and then they just start coming at you.
Yeah, and when they start performing is when you leave. They're kind of stuff. They have to do their whole thing. You can't just they can't leave in the middle of the song. That's not the thing. Like, oh my god. Oh, FNAF.
but oh my god. The next thing to talk about is that there will be an exclusive IP this year. In HHN Hollywood, Murdy has confirmed this. But I want to go down my list here because I could actually do this. Legacy believes that this exclusive will be Poltergeist.
Yeah, I mean, we've already confirmed that Poltergeist is coming.
It's probably well, we know it's coming, but he thinks it's only on Hollywood's coast, which we'll get to in a minute.
Right.
I don't know if the map agrees.
Interesting.
So I don't know. How do we feel about that? Do we think it's going to be an exclusive for Hollywood? Which I kind of think, because I don't think Orlando would bring back Poltergeist.
I
but
hope it is. They can have it.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree.
All right, what's next?
Let's see. Right here. Boom. He says, "Oh, Jess, I want you to take this one.
Oh, okay.
This is
The
important."
The house that was the most interesting to research for Jurassic World Q, but can't say what it specifically was. Totally had to educate myself on something, so that's always exciting. What was that thing that he said a couple weeks ago that when WWE was rumored, like when it first was, and people were like, "Is it WWE?" And he said, "I haven't watched it since 2x4 Joe wrestled Turtle Tommy." Like,
Gorgeous George.
I don't even fucking remember what he said, but they were not wrestlers, I could tell you.
They were like from like the early 70s.
Yeah, like when this man was like I don't even know how old he was. Like, we're not getting into that right now. So to me, this like screams this is WWE.
Yeah,
it's on both maps, it's shared IP, but
which is crazy to me, because if you put him in a lineup of like people who watch wrestling, I would probably pick him out.
He looks like it.
He looks like one.
I agree. It's kind of funny that he doesn't.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Well, he does now, I guess. You think he likes Rhea Ripley? I don't want to know the answer to that, actually. It'll just piss me off. Let's move on. You guys think? What do you guys think? Could it be something else?
No.
No, it's probably.
I think it's WWE.
Okay. I love how in just a couple of weeks we went from there's no way that WWE is coming to that we're pretty much certain that it will. That's how crazy how things quickly move. And I believe I have said this before of just how quickly things change in like the HHN rumor mill.
It is kind of crazy this year, especially. Like everything feels like different level shit. Every rumor is like, oh, that's too big, or that's too crazy, or that's too niche, or like that's too gory. Like, and it just.
And then next week we're like, it's official. It's like not official, but it's official. It's coming.
It's wrestling. The match is official.
Yeah,
that's literally how it feels. Sometimes I wish we were a video podcast, because the smile I have on my face when I get to talk about this house rumor, like, is next level for me. This is like, God, they better deliver. This better not be Beetlejuice 2.0, or I'm fighting somebody. Not to will that into existence, but got to talk about it.
Find someone in the ring.
I'm sure we will have a lot of more discussion when we get to the maps, right?
Yes, absolutely. This is one right here that I want to cover because I think it's important. basically someone asked, hey, what's the thought process on bringing back previous houses? Sure, they asked this because there are 2 repeats rumored for this year. Not only rumored, like you can see them, basically. Murdy responded, time. Sometimes things take a long time to come together, so you need to be able to trigger things that can move right away. And yeah, I still don't like that excuse. Because just do something else. I don't know. Figure out another idea. Hire more people. I don't know. There has to be
Murdy
another
likes to say
way.
stuff like this. This is just like this is very typical of Murdy. Just like I don't know, like
Yeah.
Murdy. I don't want to say the word excuse, but it's a it's just it's a Murdy statement.
So I like get a spray bottle, and anytime Murdy's like, I want to repeat, just then just like spray. Bad, Murdy.
Can I volunteer as tribute to be the spray bottle keeper?
Yes.
Yes, I volunteer.
How about killer clowns? Notes. Bad. No.
Spray him from here all the way over to Ireland. My aim is crazy.
She was what? Ow, where did that come from? What? Just straight through his
No,
window or
John.
something.
God.
All right, I will take the next one. Someone asked him, "Are you going to voice any character or have any cameos in any of the houses this year?" And his statement was just perhaps.
That means yes.
Yes.
He always does, and it's always weird. Every single time. Remember when he voiced Dracula in Legends Collide? And like when Dracula was in the pre-show? It was like the Dracula in the pre-show talking. And he was just sounded like John Murdy.
He didn't even try to change.
He had like a little accent, but it was just John Murdy. And it was so awkward to hear him just talking like the moon, the sun. And it's like, you stop, man. Stop.
Please stop.
And we have one last Murdy tweet.
No. No.
Okay, we're done with the Murdy tweets.
No, we're not.
I'm not reading it. Someone else can read it. That's what I was saying. I don't care.
You
So-
take it, Jonathan.
So John, so basically, Wood was put up for I forgot something, some construction area, and someone tagged John Murdy. Was like, "Hey, look, Wood, so cool." Facades being put up. Then John Murdy commented, "It's always exciting when wood rises." And someone added us on Twitter and said we have to talk about this on Murdy tweets. So here it is.
Yeah, I mean, this is quite the Murdy tweet.
This is the Murdiest tweet
Yeah,
he's ever tweeted.
Thanks,
Definitely.
Jocelyn. Love you, girl. I hear you. But that you have inspired the what's this asshole up to?
Yes.
Because this tweet makes me like just want to swing. I just it makes me like my whole body like repulse like when I saw that. And then the photo that was sent alongside of it in our group chat was it was of John.
You're welcome.
John Reddy's face. Oh, it was a double whammy of just
All right. Does that mean I think we are officially done with Hollywood and we can head over to Orlando, right?
You'd think we were a Hollywood podcast at this point.
Yeah.
You would think that. You only go like once a year. Just one time.
I know. It's all right.
Well, if you got through that, let's move on to Orlando.
Jess, would you like to take this one?
Of course I would. So, what was it last? No, 2 weekends ago.
I think it was 2 weekends ago.
2 weekends ago was WrestleMania weekend, so Easter weekend, and on the first day, Universal and WWE announced a giveaway to win a trip to Universal. I feel like this was like my final nail in the coffin of WWE,
Boom, boom.
and yeah, WWE and HHN. Like the likelihood is insane at this point. You guys probably feel the same way. That's why we're talking about it so solid. Then the Spec Mat came out the next day.
I mean, I thought. I mean, well, I'll get to it. I think it's. I have a hard time wrapping my head around it, but it seemed all signs seem to be pointing that it's happening. It baffles me that it is, but
Mhm.
we'll get to it.
Yeah.
I think the weirder the rumor is, the more likely it is.
Yeah,
Usually, it's not always the case. But like Quiet Place, I was like, that's not happening. And then it did, and it happened, and I saw it, and it was at the
yeah.
event.
That's a good
Um,
point.
Terrifier as well early on. I thought
Hmm.
that
yeah,
was
Yeah.
that's one too.
I think having Terrifier and WWE in the same year go from like specifically this one for me like a pipeline like dream house never gonna happen because I don't think that partnership would work like for the general public to now like talking about it weekly on this podcast and I'm like what. So just kind of in shock I feel like.
Yeah, and when we tweeted this, I like, I was busy doing something. I think I was like in the middle like of a break on work or something, and this happened, and I retweeted it or quote tweeted. I'm like, hey, does this increase the likelihood of it coming? There's a rumor, and almost everyone in the comments is like, no,
Mhm.
no, no, it doesn't. And I'm just sitting there like, how does this not like the actual giveaway doesn't like it lasts for a year, so it's not just during HHN like the Black Phone one. And
Yeah.
I was like, but they're partnering with Universal. They're partnering with them. Like that means they're in talks with them. Why else would they be in talks with them right now? You know? Um, so yeah, I'm on board that it's happening. We'll talk about the map later, but that I'm on that train.
Yeah. Also, I guess it makes more sense to talk about it here than in the spec map. The city of Orlando, like 2 weeks ago, had like a whole committee meeting with like officials for like they're going to put $10 million into bringing multiple like sporting and entertainment events to Orlando in the next 10 years. And part
Oh,
of that deal, rumored, is like 4 or 5 like PLEs with WWE
yes, I
between
saw that as
NXT and
well,
SmackDown. Yeah.
including WrestleMania.
Yeah, so the rumor is WrestleMania in 30 or in 2031, Survivor Series or no, the Royal Rumble in 2028, I believe is the other rumor, and then a bunch of other Raw, SmackDown, Saturday Night Main events in the next couple of years too. So
Yeah.
like this partnership would just benefit any of the theme parks that want to get in on it, and Universal just jumping at being the first one to jump makes the most sense.
absolutely.
Also, apparently, totally off topic, but also apparently the Jacksonville Jaguars for like a couple of years while their stadium is renovated in Jacksonville. That is rumored, which is funny because the Jacksonville Jaguars are owned by Tony Khan, who also owns
Oh,
AEW, which is WWE's biggest rival.
that's so funny.
So there
Wow.
could be a time where we have both WWE and Jacksonville Jaguars using the same stadium, um, like around like I guess it would be different times of the year, but
Yeah. That is kind of crazy, but big things are coming to Orlando, and like them jumping on it and like having their park and events be a part of it, like makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, are we ready to move on to the next piece of news we have?
Yeah.
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So, HHN Orlando recently had a website update for the Halloween Horror Nights website, and they added a line in the hotel access dedicated hotel access section, which just sort of explains the special access you get if you're a hotel guest going to Halloween Horror Nights. And they were just giving the details of this. It's all the same stuff that there usually is, but there was a line at the bottom. I said this access was not included for Halloween Horror Nights premium screen night. Keep in mind,
Ooh,
this paragraph said HHN 34, so it was updated. It was updated by the year, and it wasn't just a copy and paste of from a previous website. So, did Universal leak that premium screen night is returning?
interesting.
I say yes. I think they did.
I think they
God, I
did on
hope.
accident. Yeah.
I really want to go, especially if like half of the spec map is correct.
I'm
Yeah,
worried. Like,
I mean, last year it was great, but it's
Mm-hmm.
I am worried that the what's the best way to put it? The secret is out.
Yeah, that's fair.
the secret is out, and I could see them rolling back on a lot of the stuff they did in the original one, like not having every food item be available,
Mm-hmm.
taking away like at least half of that. Um, and the crowds will be more like, I'm sure it would still be a very good night. I I don't see them keeping up, like not just with the crowds, but like all the stuff they offered. I can't believe that it's gonna stay the same because I feel like they lost so much money doing that, and I still feel like they'd lose money even if they had like the crowd they wanted, giving away all that food. Um, so I don't know. I want to do it really badly. I'm just worried it won't be what it was,
Yeah,
if
that's
that
fair.
makes sense.
That's
Yeah.
definitely fair.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
HHN construction. Only one
Ooh,
little thing.
I'll
But
take it.
yeah, I mean, I'll take anything, right?
Right.
Um, but the fast. We already talked about the Fast and Furious tent being put up. We had a whole discussion. But we're like, how is it going to be laid out? Because the extended queue isn't closed yet. Now it is. The extended queue is closed yet. Is closed now. Which, if you remember, they used that part of the queue as house for both Blumhouse 3 and Chucky Ultimate Kill Count. So it's safe to say, with the layout of the tent, the way it's looking, that we are going to combine the extended queue with the little tent, and get a house closer to something like Chucky and Blumhouse than Sweets. Which I think we were all sort of expecting, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, do you
I
have any new
think Duff and I,
thoughts?
not really. I think Duff and I, we talked about this, I think, quite a bit last time, if I remember correctly.
Mm.
Whatever. It's happening. We've had houses like this already in the past. We'll see what they do with it.
Mm-hmm. I'm hoping that, especially after Sweets was so well received, that they're doing this for a reason and they have a lot of faith in this layout. Because imagine they take it back to the original layout and it's bad again, and they're like, why is the house bad? What happened?
No, I think that at that point they would probably realize that the error is that,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and either torch this fucking building to the ground or, God, I hate that. I hate that ride so much.
I do too.
So, it's such a waste of space, y'all.
I think it's on the chopping block for sure.
Well,
I
I
don't
mean,
think the building is going away, but I think
No.
the attraction is not long for this world.
No, I mean, and the rumors of what's replacing Rocket, like,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Now we are on to, we've had a lot of news, a lot of rumors. We are on to our last batch of rumors to talk about. We're so close to getting to the spec maps. We're this close. But HHN Legacy had some things to say on Discord, on forums, on lots of different platforms. I probably didn't catch everything because there's a lot that he said recently. But specifically about Orlando, he's talked about some things. And I feel like we should discuss them here in this section of the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who wants to take this first part?
You can take it, Jonathan.
Oh, yeah. Or Jonathan. Yeah, go
Yeah.
for it. Jonathan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
for time, if we want to rapid fire some of these,
Yeah.
I don't mind either. We don't
I-
necessarily have
Absolutely.
to discuss each one.
We definitely can with the first two, so I can do that very quickly. So Legacy believes that all these are all rumored houses, by the way. He believes that Fallout is in tent 4, which is one of the new tents. He believes that Fast and Furious is a masked slasher, which he's discussed in Discord servers that he believes, or he's heard at least, that Friday the 13th is coming. So he believes a mass slasher, which, I mean, that infers to me that he's thinking Friday, but maybe he's heard another mass slasher. But that's the only one he sort of discussed besides Scream, which He's also said that rumor has fallen off. So who knows? He believes that Soundstage 25, which is a mega house, is a painted slasher. And the only question is if robots or wrestlers get 23, aka FNAF and WWE, and whichever one gets 23, the other one would get 22. That's the what he said. And he also thinks, to clarify, that the Soundstage 25 house, which we've already talked about, he believes is Terrifier, will be a normal sized house, with the queue being in Soundstage as well to sort of like fill that space. So yeah. Do you have any thoughts on this? Because there's a lot here to discuss.
I texted it to you guys, but if this is all, if like this is true, if all the rumors are true, they're building this year brick by brick for me. Jason and wrestling, you guys know where to find me this year.
Yeah, this is. I mean, I'm very excited about for Friday as well. If that is accurate, that would be very cool.
Yeah. Oh my god. Especially, I don't. If this is true, in Fast and Furious is very interesting.
Yeah, I don't think that, especially with how like I'm sure hard it is to get these rights for Jason and Friday the 13th. If Legacy, if what Legacy says is true, they're not gonna just shoehorn him in a bad location. Like, I feel like they would have faith that this location is the location that'd be perfect for him.
Mhm.
Because otherwise, I think they just throw him at a soundstage, even if he didn't necessarily need one. Because this is a horror icon that they haven't had in years, and I don't think they want to burn that bridge by making a terrible house
No.
in Fast and Furious.
No, and like to me, this screams like, as a Jason fan, like this. If this is what they're doing and they're putting it in Fast and Furious, this story is not about like the setting. The story is about the kills.
Mm,
Yeah,
And it's like FaceTime with Jason because we have not had a lot of that at the event.
it's true.
yeah.
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't. There's no way to make it super set heavy, like
Mm-mm.
at least crazy. Like we know the tent inside of like the suites tent can have some pretty good sets, but they're tight.
Mhm.
So it needs to be like you said, like very personalized, because you can't have huge soundstage type sets here.
No, you just need huge people.
Yeah.
I really hope that these things are fleshed out, like and are like real rumors with legs.
Mm.
I would prefer it to be in a soundstage, just because I would like the sets to be elaborate and big. But yeah, I'll take it where I can get it.
Yeah. And any thoughts on Soundstage 25 not being a mega house and just being normal sized? Do you think that's even possible?
Makes sense for Q if it is Terrifier of all things. Gonna need the Q space.
Mm-hmm. I could see it. I don't know if Terrifier would need a mega house, like a house that was that big. Because what do you do? I mean, there's only a couple characters. There's Terrifier and like the sidekick girl clown.
Did you just call Art the Clown Terrifier?
Oh yeah, I did. I mean, yeah.
There's
He
It was a
has
long
Terrifier
day.
and Terrifier's
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah, they're all Terrifier. No, but there is like only like two villains.
Yes.
Or maybe three. So I don't know how you'd fill a whole mega soundstage and like make that work.
Just a
Oh,
bunch
man.
of them.
I do I have to watch these movies?
Yes.
I have to watch 2 and 3.
Three's
I don't
good.
think I'm gonna do it. I don't think I'm
I
gonna
liked
watch them. I think I'm
1.
gonna treat it as like an original.
Why
and
don't you
not
just
watch
watch a
this.
kill count? With
Be-
that, how do you feel about those? Do those make you feel like you watched a movie?
Yeah, I could try that. Maybe I try that with the first one.
Yeah, see how
Yeah.
you feel. I think James A. Janice's comedy too like helps
Yeah,
make it palatable too
yeah.
if you're
No,
not really into that shit.
that's a good idea.
Especially
Watch
the
this on
first one,
YouTube.
the story doesn't matter. So just seeing the kills is literally the most important part of like knowing what that movie is.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Report back whenever. I don't want to say next week because we've been a little wishy-washy on uploading, so we'll report back whenever we're all together again.
Yeah, I'm going on a cruise, so I don't know.
Oh,
awesome.
Okay. Well, so whenever it happens,
Whatever.
just it'll be here. We know that.
Absolutely. But let's rapid fire these next two really quickly. Legacy says Orlando does not have an IP exclusive, which makes sense because he believes the exclusive is in Hollywood, and that's Poltergeist. He believes that. And he also believes, this is the one we can talk about, we are getting 4 zones instead of 5. And he even made basically the comment was, what zone would be taken away if we had 4 instead of 5? And then he made another, like a Blue Sky post and said, I know now, basically. So he knows, apparently, what zone it is. And yeah, how do we feel about 4 zones according to Legacy instead of 5?
I don't love it. I'm going to be honest. I feel like the zones play a big role in the event for me. I like the zones. I like being able to, especially if I don't have Express Pass, I like being able to get some atmosphere where I can take it. So it depends, especially with Avenue of the Stars now just being, um, you know, Avenue of the tiny little section at the beginning, like not even of star and not stars. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Avenue of Minions.
Yeah.
But we can't go near the minions.
We can't. You see them though. They're there.
Just ignore them.
It's basically just a truss with a couple of people under it. Um, yeah, I would be upsetting if something other than that goes away because then you're really only left with 3. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Well,
now if we get those are done correctly and super awesome and mega ones, then okay, I can handle that. But I don't know. More zones the better for me.
let's just stop taking away zones. Like, let's just have 5 zones. Let's do it.
5 real zones for me.
Real zones. I don't understand why that's so difficult. Just have 5. You've done it before. You can do it. I believe in you. I get some areas are hard. San Fran's hard. Front zone's hard. Even Central Park can be hard at times, but just have 5 zones. That's my thought process. But
I mean, they've put zones in very unique places throughout the years, and they for the most part they seem to have worked.
You would think that with the Lagoon show gone the past 2 years, that they would have used the Killer Clown section again.
Yeah.
Because the only reason they didn't use that is because the Lagoon show's there and you can't put a zone there. But now that there wasn't for 2 years, you think they would have just thrown one there. But
they didn't.
They didn't.
I think maybe they always thought maybe they want to leave that open just in case the Lagoon show was an option. They didn't want to close that door. So in the development, they just never planned it there just in case, the show happened to be built in time, or you know what I mean, like happened to be ready. So just it was always just left as a place, just in case that other team, because obviously that's a different team that's working on repairing that, so they just didn't want to close that door on that.
Yeah, no, I can totally see that. But I know we've talked a lot about news and rumors, and we had quite a bit of discussion to go. We have 2 maps to cover from Horror Night Nightmares, version 2, for speculation maps, and I feel like we should dive into them because we got a lot to discuss here.
We do, we do, and we've already gone for quite a while, so
yeah,
let's keep going.
Luckily, a lot of the stuff on these maps we have discussed before, so we can probably very briefly, just say, "Hey, this is that. We know it's that. Let's move on." But yeah, let's go through it. I think starting at Soundstage 23A and then working our way around clockwise, is how we usually go about it in Orlando. And are we still all on board that this ship, that's sailing, is probably Vikings, like we were the last time this map came out? Are we still on board with that, or do we think it could be pirates, or any new theories?
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah. I don't think anybody said anything. Like for me, I don't know if it's like necessarily giving Viking, and we haven't heard strong Viking rumors still,
Mm-hmm.
like ongoing. So to me, like it could be any type of seafaring
It's true.
story. I don't know. I don't know if this is like Vikings, pirates, I don't know, like Spaniard travelers, like Ponce de Leon and shit like that. Like I don't know, Fountain of Youth. Who knows? Who fucking knows?
Yeah, that's true.
That's where I'm at. And like when we don't hear a rumor continue to keep going very strongly, that's when I kind of go, huh? I don't know.
Maybe this is just a placeholder for something else. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes there's a rumor that floats, they put it on the map, and then by the next map it disappears.
Yeah. And if it's Vikings, that's fine. I'm not gonna be mad at that. I just think it's still very vague for it to be like continuing on version 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. He usually starts to elaborate, right?
Yeah.
Like everything else here. This
Right.
is just a weird exception. Well, this one and the book, but
That's
this
true.
one,
That's
yeah.
another one. I'm not really sold on anything because there's not strong rumors.
Yeah. Yeah, the originals for me, I just don't know if I'm fully sold on some of these rumors. Yeah, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But are we
Right.
are we all sold on Soundstage 22?
Yeah. Why would we be sold on that though, Jonathan? What is it?
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
say.
I mean, I could say it. Yeah, yeah.
Some people have not seen it.
We are not playing the game of describing.
No, I'm not. No, I was like
It's a new one,
like
right?
leading into that. I was like, it was like a transition, you know?
Oh,
Yeah.
so sorry.
No,
We're
it's
really
good. No, I'm just gonna be like, okay, guys, what do you think of Soundstage 22? And just but I'll say it because I'm gotten into it. There is a sort of coffin in the middle of the symbol, and on the sides is like a wrestling like ring, like the where they push the people off the ropes and
There's
stuff.
2 turnbuckles and 3 ropes.
That's
Yes.
yes.
A ring post.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, 2 like white lines that
Yeah.
look like they could be ring posts, and
Which-
then 3 lines that connect
That
those
could
2 lines.
It could also just be a fence.
It could be.
Yeah, it could be a Jurassic Park electric fence.
Yeah, but it's very much
It's not
giving
that, but-
wrestling ring. Come on, y'all.
And then there is what appears to be a coffin right in the middle, kind of connecting those all together.
And why do we think there's a coffin there compared to like any other symbol they could have put there?
Well, I believe it is rumored that Undertaker was involved, but I don't know if I personally believe that. But that's what there was rumors to be. Correct?
I think that's what Horror Night Nightmares is saying. Whether or not they're right is a different story. But I think that's what they're trying to imply with this symbol, like kind of without a doubt, because that's the reason you put that there. Because it's so tied to Undertaker, and that is something that has been like, people have been sort of talking about it. So I'm not going to say I believe that, because there are a lot of problems with Undertaker as a human being that I don't think HHN would want to touch. But as terms of like, what do I think this symbol is meaning? I think that's exactly what Horde of Nightmares is trying to say.
Yeah, because haven't we had, like, correct me if I'm wrong, haven't we had like WWE on the map before, but he shaped it differently? Like we've had it rumored.
Did we?
Maybe
think
not. Maybe
I think he took it off the map. I don't think it
maybe
was
he
there.
took it off the map. Maybe it was one of those things. Because I'm thinking as all going back to the weird Christmas one.
Oh no! There was a lantern, I think, and I think that
Yeah,
I'm
you're
pretty
right,
sure
it
there was a lantern.
Was
and
that not Insidious?
It might have been. It might be. I might be having some brain fog, but
I think that was like the Insidious lantern,
I thought
like
the
in that.
Christmas one maybe had one, like Mike was
I'm
saying. I
looking
don't
at
know.
the
It,
Christmas one
oh, it
map.
might.
Let's
You
see.
might be right. It's been so long. I have so many rumors and
Because the
speculation in
lantern
my
would
brain.
be Bray Wyatt. So
Here,
I,
let's see.
Or was that a different year? Because I'm looking at it. No,
it
I
might
don't
be the
see
lantern from Insidious, like Jonathan is saying.
Yeah,
from like last year.
'Cause, yeah, brain fog is so real.
there was no wrestling symbol on the version 1 map,
No.
but maybe the Christmas map
Not the
had it.
Christmas. I just looked at the
Not
Christmas
that
one.
one
I
either.
don't believe most of the Christmas map. We just had like presents.
Oh.
The main ones we had on the Christmas map is we had like a Christmas beard. We had some like toys. We had like a ghost. We had like a rocking horse. And we had like like it was all like Christmas themed
Mm-hmm.
symbols.
The most interesting thing here, though, is that HNN decided for version 1 they were not going to put any wrestling reference on that map, even though at the time it was one of the bigger rumors out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, but
And
I remember that rumor went away for a while.
It
it
fizzled
did.
for a minute. Yeah.
It was basically said like, no, that's not happening. And one of the insiders basically said like that's from what it was like pretty like it was like that's gone, that died.
Yeah. And then it came back.
It
Which,
came
when
back.
that happens, when they take a rumor off and think it has enough steam to come back on a map, that to me makes it a hell of a lot more likely. Like, and first of all the reasons we've said before, and also this, because
Yeah.
you know you made a conscious decision to take it off a map or not put it on a map, and now you're making a decision to put it back on, which
Right.
means you've heard like, oh, it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's definitely nothing on Spec Map 1 that could lead me to believe that that was WWE.
Yeah. So I have two theories on why this is a coffin, and neither of them have to do with the Undertaker because
Oh,
I don't want him involved. Um, the first theory is that there's nothing that they could put to represent the Wyatt Six or any other spooky person in WWE that would have made sense and looked right with a wrestling ring because it could also just look like a fence. So I think the coffin is like the safest bet. Yeah, it's the Undertaker symbol, and he's the
Yeah.
coffin match guy. I just think that H&N was just kind of like, what do we do? Because Bray Wyatt's symbol is like a moth or a lantern, and like the Wyatt Six is also kind of using those symbols. So I think that would be too pointed as well. Like
Yeah.
using the actual logo for the people that it might be based off of, because that's what I think that it's gonna be like fully that they're gonna come back soon. That's the rumor. They're all healthy, and if this is really happening, like the rumor is like super strong at this point in the spec maps and everything. It's got to be based around them. Maybe other people pop in here and there. Or maybe it's like a best of WWE Spooky People edition, but I don't want the Undertaker involved. He's on a Legends deal, so he could be. He's still affiliated. He's on a bunch of shows. His wife just got inducted into the Hall of Fame. I
Yeah,
don't want
for
him.
those who don't know, like, because there might be some people who don't know anything
Oh
about
yeah,
wrestling at all. Undertaker is a wrestler that started in the early '90s. He has evolved quite a bit and has changed like most wrestlers do. He has had a lot of different type of gimmicks. Some of them are horror based. Some of them are not, like the biker based one. But he has had a house at HHN before, um, in HHN Hollywood a long time ago. So if
in
you listen to
2000.
one of my early on, we used to do HHN history segments, and one of those only history segments is based on this house. So if you want to go back to, you don't have to listen to those early episodes, but yeah. So he has been involved with HHN before. More recently, he has retired. Has not really been involved in wrestling in a while in a wrestling capacity. His gimmick has not really been used or in anything. They own WWE does own his that gimmick and all of the imagery for it. So if they really wanted to use it's they can, because WWE owns it. He does not personally own the name Undertaker or any of the imagery, so he would not have to be involved, but his likeness would obviously would probably have to be involved. And he, for those who don't know, he is um, a controversial figure lately, because he has a podcast and he has had controversial people on his podcast, and also has controversial views that we're not necessarily going to
Yeah.
go into because we're not a political podcast.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want that at our event. I don't think any of us really do. So
Nope.
I just think also if there's an argument that, the Wyatt Six aren't current, that yeah, people know the Undertaker, but like not young people. Do they
No.
really? Like what
No,
he got inducted into the Hall of Fame in like 2022. Like
not
that's
even
about
really
it.
millennials. He's like a Gen Xer. Like
Yeah.
he has not been. I think, not to go again. We don't necessarily want to go into, but the last time he was really relevant, even wrestling wise, his what Ben was like 10 years ago, right? Like 2015,
Yeah, like when
2016.
he lost the streak or whatever.
Right,
Something
exactly.
like
What
that. Yeah.
I believe that was like in the late teens, like
Yeah.
so 2018. So it's been a long time where he's been relevant, even in a wrestling capacity.
Yeah.
But his horror gimmick stuff hasn't been in for a very long time, right?
No, nothing. The only spooky things we've really had have been like Bray Wyatt in the last however long, like a while. 10, 15 years.
Right.
Because
Mm.
even then when he was popping up in like the late teens, it was just for like a one-off match here and there.
So I don't know much about Bray Wyatt, Jess, but for fill in who is Bray Wyatt and who is the Wyatt Six for those who don't know anything about wrestling. I'll like give it a Reader Digest like short
Sure.
version of who they are, and because for some people this is probably the first time they're hearing these names.
Yeah, I'm just rambling about. I assume people know, and I shouldn't do that. I also assume that when this gets announced, if it gets announced, we'll probably also do like a deeper dive and talk about it a little bit more.
Definitely, we definitely
Um,
will if and when it becomes official. We'll definitely have to, but
yeah.
for those who totally don't know anything, just because the rumor is getting bigger and bigger, give us a short Reader's Digest version of who Bray Wyatt is and the Wyatt Six and stuff like that.
So Bray Wyatt was a wrestler with WWE. He started in the developmental brand like fucking 15, however long ago. And he was very creative and had a lot of ideas, and his character was always evolving. And his most like notorious characters were a cult leader in like a swamp, like a bayou, and the Fiend, which is his horror based character. Bray Wyatt unfortunately passed away in 2023, 2024. I think it was 2023. Very suddenly when he was like out and injured and about to come back, and he had been out of WWE for a year. So very tragically, and he was in his late 30s. So out of nowhere, and he wasn't able to finish his story with this horror character. He's wrestled Randy Orton, like John Cena, like very big names in WWE as this character. He's very Jason inspired. He kind of can't die. He's been burned alive. He's come out of the ring mat floor. He's had people turn on him, yada yada yada. He passed away when his brother was actually going to continue on the story with him as his like right hand man. So now the Wyatt Six is his brother leading a group of people that are all intertwined with Bray Wyatt in one way or another throughout the history in wrestling, um, continuing his legacy in the horror genre for WWE.
Perfect. I think
High
that's
level.
perfect. Yeah.
There we
There's
go.
a lot more to cover. We can deep dive in it, but I think that's a perfect Reader's Digest version of who Bray Wyatt is and the Wyatt Six.
Yeah. Wrestling.
Do we have anything else to add to that one?
I don't think so. I think we covered it.
Cool. All
So
right, let's move on to the next one.
I'm gonna be honest here. The next one, we've already talked about before, and we know what the symbol means, so we don't really need to talk about it much, unless the location is surprising in any way. Soundstage 23B, we have the security camera. This is obviously referencing Five Nights at Freddy's. It was on the last map, and that is where they're saying it is. Soundstage 23B.
Gotcha. And we're definitely getting the movie this year too, right? It's gonna. This will line up with a new movie.
I don't think we're getting it in time for HHN. I think it's after. I think it's
I
like
think it's
Christmas.
November, December.
Yeah,
Okay.
November. Yeah.
So they think it's going to be like a big hit. If they're saving a horror movie for like Christmas, they think it's going to be a huge hit.
And to knowingly compete with Wicked Part 2.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, they think it's going to be a smash hit.
Yeah.
I mean, the
The first one
Minecraft
was,
movie just like broke records. You know,
Yeah.
it did really good. So, especially with a movie that had a first one did great. And that was sort of a low budget one. I'm sure this one, when they definitely got approved to have a higher budget, is gonna do really well.
Yeah, Minecraft and Sinners have both had way better than expected box office numbers. So Warner Brothers, especially, has been doing really great. In the month of April was basically way better than they ever expected it would be. They thought, yeah. So the box office, at least for if we compare it March, listen, we're not going to look at that, or February stuff like those were bad, but if we look at April, movies are they're doing well. So hopefully it continues.
Absolutely. Do you have anything else to say on this particular one, or we think we're good to move on?
I think we're good.
Yeah, I agree. Mike, do you want to take Soundstage 24B?
Yeah,
I love when Mike describes this one. It's my favorite.
I mean, I've described it before. It's the one where it has like the skyscrapers in the middle. You got a circle around those skyscrapers, and then you got wings coming off the circles, and then you have scythes in kind of making an X, and then you've got like a skull helmet, like a Viking skull helmet on top. It's the same symbol that I've described before. This is the one. It's what rumored to be like what is it? What did you call it?
Urban
Apocalypse.
Inferno.
Urban Inferno.
Yeah, and considering H&N didn't change the symbol at all,
It's still here.
That's still what they're referring to. I don't think it is at all, but they didn't change anything about it. Just like they didn't change the security camera, or we'll get into it, the trash bag, stuff like that. So, as far as we're aware, they think this is Urban Inferno, and I don't think it is.
Interesting. It would be a very, very interesting choice if it was, but I don't know enough about it. So I'm gonna go with you, Jonathan. It seems pretty crazy if this is it, but who knows? I said that almost exact same thing about a WWE house like 3 weeks ago. So, and now it seems to be happening. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Jess, do you think Urban Inferno is happening?
I don't know what the fuck is going in this spot. And I can't wait to find out eventually. That's my thought.
agree.
I don't think it's Urban Inferno though.
I hope it's not. It sounds dumb.
Yes, it does.
I mean, I guess they could do it well, but it seems silly.
Yeah. But the next one we have here, Soundstage 25. This is a light bulb with sort of like a ghost face. Not actually ghost face, but like it's like a ghost in the light bulb. It's like a ghost light bulb, kind of like it's possessing the light bulb. When we look over to Hollywood's map, it's clear this is the location where all the construction points to Poltergeist in Hollywood. So this is referring to Poltergeist. Legacy has said they are referring to Poltergeist, and Legacy has said they are wrong for Orlando. Um, like very clearly. That
Interesting.
Poltergeist. This map is saying Poltergeist is coming to Soundstage 25, which is where it originally was in 2018, and Legacy is saying no. So who do we believe? Do we think it is coming to Soundstage 25, or do we think that it's not and it's
I
just
don't
not
know.
coming?
I have no clue. Uh, I didn't get to see Poltergeist, so if it came, it would be an IP that I wouldn't be upset about. But I would like it better than Urban Inferno, whatever that is
Yeah,
sounding
I
like.
would too.
But well, you know, I
Yeah.
don't know. We'll see.
I I loved our Poltergeist, but again, I don't want it back. I don't think it is Poltergeist. I think, like I said, I think that this location makes sense for Terrifier more than Fast and Furious for the Q space.
Hmm.
So, and if it's not a mega, if Legacy's everything Legacy's saying is right, like that makes a lot more sense to me. So maybe swap these two. Whatever they think Ghost Light Bulb Face is actually Fast and Furious, which I guess would
But
be.
Poltergeist would only work in a soundstage, right?
Oh,
Unless
absolutely.
they took a totally different take. There's no way I could see Poltergeist in Fast and the Furious.
Oh,
That
and
would just would
something
not work.
something we found out on the live because I looked it up. Only 3 houses had been in 25, and Poltergeist was one of them.
Yep.
Okay.
So, like to me, that was like, oh, if it is coming back, it makes
Yeah,
sense. It
makes
would be in the same
sense.
spot.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
it's been what, 7 years? A lot of people have not
Yeah.
experienced it.
Yep. New group of people coming to HHN.
What my big thing is that Horror Nightmares sort of like indicated this would be a repeat because they like someone's like Poltergeist and they're like, "Do you remember American Werewolf 25? They brought it back." But if I
That was
remember correctly,
different though.
yeah, like that first that didn't do so hot. The second one, the second version, right? Like because it was came back exactly the same, and now they don't do repeats like that anymore. Um, and second of all, like I don't know. I don't think Orlando would. They seem to be claiming it'd be a repeat and not just like repeat property, and I don't think so. I'm calling bullshit, and like I could be wrong, but I don't think Orlando's ever gonna do a repeat, like exact repeat again, at least on an IP. Maybe an original for like an anniversary year. There's like an old original they want to come bring back, and you know most people didn't see it, and that's what they do. But I do not think we're getting like a complete scene for scene repeat of an IP ever again in history. But that's just me.
Yeah, if I recall, I remember American Werewolf in London being a pretty unique um, thing where it was like a very beloved IP at the time, and people really liked it. But then I also remember it was like an asterisk. It was like people love this, but the masks were whack, or the people did not like the masks, and so they said, "Okay, we'll bring it back, but we're gonna totally fix like the masks and the werewolves." And so it was basically like a repeat almost down to it, but they but we're gonna fix the masks, and it was not um well received just because people did not like they thought the masks were better, but they're like, but we've totally saw this just 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
As much as we love the original, we don't want to see this again right now, even though you fix the masks. And we
Yeah,
haven't seen anything like that done before. I mean, since they tried that.
Yeah. I don't think it's starting now.
I
Again.
agree. All right, who wants to take Fast and Furious?
I will. It's a big garbage bag and a little garbage bag.
And a baby garbage bag.
It's a mommy and a baby garbage bag. It's the 2 stars of Terrifier.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's no. We don't have to say much.
No, we've talked about this. It's happening. It's just I don't think it's going to be in Fast and Furious.
agreed.
Yeah, this is if this does come, this is going to be one of the big IPs these movies have gone from being niche to huge. I would say, especially Terrifier 3 made a boatload of money at the box office. These are this is going to be popular. They're not going to put it in Fast and Furious. This is going to be one of the big soundstage, like Stranger Things type of things. I would say this would probably, if it came, based on, it would be up there with Five Nights at Freddy's, like 1-2 punch of
Yeah.
Terrifier and Five Nights at Freddy's being the big IPs.
Fallout's pretty big too, though.
Is it?
It's pretty it's one
I
of the
feel like-
most popular video games of all time, and you also have the show with it too. That's did
I haven't-
insanely good in numbers.
Did it? See, I'm not familiar with the show or the games. This is something I don't know much about when it comes to Fallout. I know the Fallout games are popular, but I was not aware that the TV show was.
Isn't it like on the same level as Last of Us, or is Last of Us more popular? I'm not super big in the
I
video
believe
games.
The Last of Us is way.
I've heard more
the
about
television show
Last
is
of Us.
way bigger.
Yeah, than
Okay.
Fallout.
That
I
makes
haven't
sense.
really heard much about Fallout, except Walter Goggins. Walton?
Yeah.
Not Walter. Walton Goggins.
Walton,
I'm a
yeah,
fan. Remember?
Yeah, Walton, yeah.
I just found out about this man this year.
Who has blown up not because of Fallout, because of the White Lotus. He was on the
Yeah.
White Lotus, and he is now huge and been memed. He's very zeitgeisty right now, but I don't see them talking about the Fallout as mostly the White Lotus and his storyline and Sam Rockwell. In a scene with him and White Lotus and Sam Rockwell together, very zeitgeisty right now.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Well,
10-3.
10-3.
10-3. It's does anyone remember what this one was rumored to be?
Cold scary. No, was it Cold Scary Tales? Christmas
Kind of.
Stories?
You're close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Christmas
there we go.
Cold Scary Tales.
I don't. I'm telling you.
Scary Tales Christmas.
Yes.
I feel like because of the lives, I get so confused about when I've talked about things. It's a positive thing, but I'm like, I can't get my timelines in order anymore.
This one, I think it was out there at the time, but the more I think about it, not that I necessarily think it would be coming, but the more I think it would be fun. Like if this one, I would say, like, I still don't necessarily think it's coming, but if it is coming, I could get on board with this. We got a Cold House. We got a repeat original IP that is beloved. It's been a while since we've had Scary Tales. Just in 7 years, just like Poltergeist, right?
Mhm.
I think I could get on board with this. I think we need more than just the Snow Queen. I think we would need to come up with some like more fairy tales that could probably work here.
Jack Frost, stuff like
that. Yeah. So we would lean into like some of the Christmas stuff. But yeah, I think this could be fun.
I wouldn't be against it, even though I don't love Christmas stuff, HHN in particular. But I still have the sneaking suspicion that someone saw Christmas props and something else that might be Scary Tales. I have no idea, but someone saw Christmas props and they're like, oh, they put the two together, Scary Tales Christmas. But in reality, the Christmas props are just for anything that is Terrifier 3 represented in Terrifier. Because that movie takes place during Christmas. So that's my theory, that whatever this is, people are seeing props and getting things mixed up and combining things, and it might not actually be Scary Tales Christmas, but
yeah,
it
I
could
also
be.
see another symbol here that could also have Christmas props. We haven't discussed it, but one of these other symbols in the originals,
Yep.
I feel could potentially be trying to allude to another original IP that we haven't seen in a while, and could also have Christmas props.
Yeah. Yeah.
See that too. So yeah, overall, I'm not on. I don't think this is Scary Tales Christmas, but I wouldn't be too mad if it was. Does anyone have any more thoughts?
No.
Yeah, we talked about this one before. Pretty
Yeah.
simple.
All right, what's next?
One thumbs up.
Is Walton Goggins doing the thumbs up?
Yeah, he got that gog in him. Yeah, Fallout. Thumbs up.
Did you know that Walton Goggins had all of his teeth knocked out twice?
What?
Yeah, so he got hit by he got hit by a baseball when he was a kid, and he had his teeth knocked out, and so he went to the hospital, and they were all shoved back in, and they actually took. And apparently they did not give him anesthesia. They just kind of like, this was like the 70s apparently. They just shoved him back in, and they actually took, and he had his teeth again for like a couple of years until he's tripped on a pool deck, and or he like dived into a no, that's what it was. He dived into a shallow end of a pool and hit his face on the bottom of the pool and knocked them out for good, and that's why he has that bridge. He had a bridge for a long time, and now he has veneers, and that's why he has such a like a big teethy smile. Is because he has a bunch of fake veneers.
Everything I've learned about this man was against my will.
Yeah.
This is
Thank
now
you.
Walton Goggins
Yeah.
365.
Thank you for that tidbit, Mike.
Yeah. So be
That was a
careful.
good story.
Be careful, parents, when you put your kids into baseball. Walton Goggins has had his teeth knocked out.
Mike, you're a T-ball dad now.
I know. I'm a
Oh
T-ball
my
dad,
God.
yeah.
This is why you know this.
Partly, yeah.
You're hitting us with the stats. Like
Yeah.
you got facts for us.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch Moneyball later so I can get my kid on base. Gotta see how I can get him on base enough, you know? I'm gonna get my 5-year-old on base.
You got anything to say about Fallout? I feel like we've talked about this one too a lot.
Yeah.
I don't have a single thing to say about this. I give the Fallout rumor a thumbs up. How about that?
All right. What's
Mike, I feel like you should
Oh
take
yeah.
this one.
So this next one is the one that I was alluding to. It has like a broadcast like tower, like kind of like an old timey broadcast, like an old timey like tower, like a broadcast tower with like electric like lightning bolts coming out of it, as if it was broadcasting media of some sort, so either radio or television. Yeah, that's all it is. It's just like either a radio tower or like a TV broadcast tower.
Yeah. And what do we think it could mean?
I don't know. And this is different than what it was there before, right? This is a change from the first version. It was something different, right?
Yeah, it was like a
the
sci-fi robot.
Yes,
yeah.
It was the robot. Yeah.
So, do you want to hear what people's theories are on this?
Sure. Yeah.
Everyone has sort of been saying on Discords and forums, sort of a couple ideas. One is that it's like a sort of a television type of house. Another is that it's a television type of house, but it has blood and guts.
Yeah. That's where I originally, when I saw it, I just saw blood and guts.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of different theories, but the blood and guts is the most popular because, of course, it's going to be the most popular. And I'm not going to lie, if it is blood and guts, I would be very, very happy. Like, this would be my most hyped original by far, at least on this map, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had, when was the last time we had blood and guts? It was it was scary. It was Welcome to Scary, right? We had blood and guts, and then we have not had Holidays in Hell on our side, right?
Mm-mm.
That was only in Hollywood where they had Holidays in Hell a couple of years in a row, or it was
Mhm.
like skipped a year or two. But we have not had. It's been rumored a couple of years, right, that we were going to have Holidays in Hell, but we have not yet had it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I will say I did see there. I feel like we're doing a disservice if we don't mention that people were saying that, oh, Rocky Horror, that
Oh,
would
that too.
that would be an
Mm.
IP, and I think that we don't know, but a 6-4. I don't think that's happening this year. We were very 5-5 or 4-6 IP original normally in Orlando.
It it also being exclusive according to this map. If it was,
Yes.
Oh, I would love a Rocky Horror
Oh,
House.
same.
That would be amazing. We have not had Rocky Horror part of the event since what, 2013? I think is when we had a Rocky Horror show, or was it longer than that? I know it's been a long time.
It's around that. I know it ended like a couple years before I started going.
Yeah,
But yeah, I understand why people think that the tower could be Rocky Horror, but I just don't think that's what it is. I wish it was, but
I don't know
yeah, I
how it would
agree.
work with a house, to be
yeah.
honest. But yeah, I would love a Rocky Horror to be involved in the event again for sure.
Hmm. I
Especially if
love
we're
the
getting a
show.
lagoon show, like
Oh
uh,
my god.
yeah, that would be a big part of it.
Jess, would you want to see Blood and Guts return?
Absolutely. I would love to see him have his own house, like fully, not just a part of a mashup house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know how they would. The problem with Blood and Guts for me to have see it return is how do you do it different? You only got so many holidays, right? And his like you would have to go some other route where it's like not the holidays like films. You get Blood and Guts, you get different, and then that would be maybe a little too similar to Slaughter Cinema if you don't do the
Yeah.
holidays. So I don't know how you would bring back Blood and Guts without it being very similar to the original in 2012, which then you would essentially almost be repeating the same house. I don't see how Blood and Guts would get a sequel. It would just have to be essentially a returning original, which we have not seen happen ever, right?
No.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if it's like going through TV commercials or like television, just television shows. But you're right; it would feel very similar to Slaughter Cinema, like
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would.
different but
Yeah, and if it was
very
the
similar.
holidays themed from like that would be way too similar to because there's only so many holidays, right?
Yeah. So
It
I
would.
don't know. It could just be a rumor that's not going to amount to anything. But whichever way they do it, I mean, like Jess said, it could just be a Blood and Guts house too, like just Blood and Guts, like, and that's the story, and it's not like trying to do a whole mashup thing either. I would like
Yeah.
that a
Just
lot.
like an origin story, maybe of Blood and
Hmm.
Guts, or like
I think I said that on the live too, actually, like a Larry Kurtzen, whatever his name is, origin story.
That'd be
Now that you're
amazing.
bringing it up, Mike. Yeah,
yeah.
that could be
I
cool.
mean, the problem with that is like what he didn't have like when you go back into it he didn't have he eventually gets like fired and goes crazy like when you look at his origin story he doesn't have that moment before like a prequel to unless something happens like after like we extend like he moves somewhere to goes to a different place that isn't karaoke or like
Hmm.
or we retcon that there is something but according to at least the original story, he there's no like murdery backstory before, right? Am I not wrong? I don't know my Blood
I
and Guts too much, but I believe he like from what I understand, he has a pretty normal story up until when he goes crazy on that night.
I feel like I remember him being like a failed Broadway actor. Yeah, he was once a okay, no, I have it up. He was a
Yeah,
Broadway performer from the 30s who began his career at the Schubert Theater in a musical comedy. Years later, he retired to the life of a taxidermist after his career ended. He got desperate for more fame in the 70s when he got older, So he turned to a talent agency at Cary, Ohio, and that's where Lady Luck came in.
Right.
So I mean,
he doesn't have like a Mercury backstory.
but he was a Broadway performer. That could be interesting.
That would be cool.
It could.
Like
Yeah.
why can't I think of it?
Again, you could retcon him some stuff.
Oh yeah,
there, for sure.
We can do whatever we want. It's HHN. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's very likely. I think that this is probably when we're going to see change in version 2, 3, or this is 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. Or it's a totally different story involving television or movies or radio. Like,
yeah, could be a podcast.
I was about to say, yeah, it could be
Triplets of Terror. No.
Oh, this is actually us saying they offered us a deal.
Yeah, this is the HHN 365 house.
And they gave us a tent, of course. They didn't have a lot of faith in us. Yeah. No.
What would be? Someone's gonna do that. Someone's gonna make a house treatment for HHN 365.
That would be terrifying.
Murdy tweets is gonna have a whole room, whole section.
Do you think okay? So then, would it be
Grease
like mashups
2,
of our favorite things, or would it be like actually based on us?
It has to be based on us.
It would have to be based on like HHN 365 running jokes. So you would have like Sinful Island. You would have to go real far back. Get like
the first room is just everybody in the line has to pass a snowball back to each other. A snowball microphone to get in.
Yeah, snowball microphone. You get the Sinful Island. You get the Nico days.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get the Nico murder.
You get the steam cream. Steam Nico murder. You get the Steve cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. And then Jonathan will just pop up at one point because he didn't have to kill anybody to get here.
Yeah, just pop in.
He will just
go H.
At some point in the house, Jonathan will pop out with an H, and then it'll be Goblethin at the end.
Yeah, H Goblethin.
I love that.
Yeah.
The facade is H.
Yes.
It's H. It's the HHN 365 logo.
Yeah.
I love it. No notes. Perfect.
Okay. We just wrote the house treatment.
We wrote the treatment, so no one else.
Duff's gonna listen to this episode and maybe, and just be like, "What the fuck?"
These fucking narcissists.
All right, let's move on before we keep digging ourselves into a hole.
Tent 1. It's a wanted poster with a chain on it. It's Hatchet and Chains.
What do you guys think about this one? Do you think this one has legs to the rumor?
I don't know. I think the overall theme will probably be the same. I'm just not like, the time period, Western, stuff like that. I just don't think it's going to be Hatchet and Chains. But that's what I think. I don't know what you guys think.
I don't know if that's what I think, but that's what I would prefer. I would prefer something, totally not tied to Slaughter Cinema necessarily, that we get something from that time period, like a Western house, maybe even a Ghost Town sequel, but not necessarily tied to Hatchet and Chains. I think it would be a stronger house personally if it was, but I'd take what I could get.
Yeah. I don't really want it back so soon. I love that part of Slaughter, but I don't need it back. If it does come back, I'm not going to bitch about it because it's going to be great.
Yeah,
the aesthetics are fantastic. Yeah. But I don't necessarily want it to be that. I would rather it, like you said, just be something unattached to Slaughter and Hatchet.
Yeah. All right. Anything else that we need to talk about? On the Orlando map, there's a little fire symbol for that's pointing towards Fear Factor, and then there is unknown pointed at the Central Park area. So
Nightmare Fuel and Lagoon Show.
Yep, that's at least what they are at least alluding to or rumored to be. Right? Anything else? All the other still no scare zones. They all say unknown, and this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have the 5. They have the 5 on this map.
Yep. This map did come out in Easter, and I think Legacy teased this like a couple days ago. So this might be like a new thing running around
Yeah.
about 4 zones.
I think version 3 will probably, if it's going to happen, we'll see it bumped down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. But Lagoon Show.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's quickly head over to Hollywood because I know this episode's long. People are probably already turning it off.
No, but luckily this has a lot of shared things, so we could just really like the shared things quickly just glance over. And I think if we start at the bottom left and just sort of go around in a circle, it'd be a pretty easy way to do this. And I mean, I can start easily. Ube venue. I'm gonna say that now because you guys say it. So that's how I will refer to it as from now on. Is the coffin with the ropes? It's WWE.
The WWE one. Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go in that venue.
Yeah, which is currently the Star Trek thing.
Yep.
So yeah.
So that's a very soundstagey venue, right?
Yeah, for like Evil Dead, Horror Hotel.
Yeah.
Quiet Place.
They can build big sets in there if they choose to. It's
And they made enhancements last year or the year before, like 2023 into 2024 season, in the off season for the venue for HHN and stuff like that.
It's also air conditioned, right? Is one of the more air conditioned places, right? Because
it's inside.
It's inside. It's where Walking Dead used to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That it is.
There we go. And it looks like we have another familiar symbol right above it.
Oh, the Parisian Courtyard is still the Isla de Muñecas. That symbol is still. We are very strong. And the Parisian Courtyard, which is where, Monstros Uno and Dos were. So.
Yep.
Can't wait to see how many levels this mausoleum has.
So this is basically Monstros version 3, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
But
kind of.
One story.
Yeah.
One's okay.
More, I guess more like La Llorona.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know. It could still be Monstros La Isla de Muñecas.
Gotcha.
It still could be that, like, just a tagline. We don't know. But I hope it's just this. Whatever it is.
I agree.
Cool.
But it's been pretty strong now. This is a consistent one we've seen.
So this is rumored to be the only original.
On this map?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Oh, no, there's oh yeah, you're right.
Because the other are rumored to be returning original. Like
Yeah, the T-pad.
T-pad's rumored to be Scarecrow, which is a repeat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But all right. We all have another familiar symbol right above. Yeah, this is going to be a quick map.
This one is Terrifier, right?
Yep. Trash bags, Terrifier, and Mummy.
Trash bags.
And then this one they have Soundstage 12, which is the weird the one that we seem to think is not happening, right? That is actually going to be Jurassic World Q.
Yes.
This is the weird unknown that's in a very weird font with like a target bullseye and own underlined, and you got 2 dots with its one solid white dot and one dot with a hole in the middle.
I don't know why they did that, because like every unknown has just been the same font. I guess they just like it because it's just means unknown.
Decide to change it up.
It's giving like wingdings or whatever, like font.
I know. To me, it makes me think like there's some sort of clue in this, but though it's just like there's too much going on here that makes me think like, because why is just own underlined? What? It's one word. It's one word unknown, but only half of the word is underlined. It's very weird font to me. and then the target, the O, is like a weird target symbol. I know we're talking about something that means nothing for way too long, but there's
No,
something like it's not a clue for something, right? It feels like it
I don't
has to
know.
be, but it's probably not, right?
This is also the location. Well, this would be Jurassic World now, but this is the one he had to. He did a lot of research on something he didn't know, right?
No, that was
Yeah, that was
okay.
Jurassic World.
Okay, so
Jurassic World Q, yeah.
okay, so that's the one that we think is
WWE.
WWE. So Ube is not WWE. If
Probably not.
we're going with the other Murdy clues and not necessarily this map.
I wonder if Mummy would actually be unknown then, and then Terrifier would be Ube,
Yeah,
That would make sense.
right?
I
That
could
just
see that.
feels right to me, I
Yeah, that
guess.
does feel right to actually put Terrifier. Yeah, because
Unless
Ube is a big one. You don't have to trek down to it. It's going to be
Yeah.
popular.
Are you gonna say put it in Soundstage 15, Jonathan?
I was gonna say Terrifier goes in H lot tent 1.
Oh yeah,
due
yeah,
to
yeah. No, you're right.
Kevin's theory.
I forgot about that. You're right. So then, okay, so switch it. Five Nights goes into Ube.
I could see that.
Yeah, we don't
I
have
think.
any Five Nights clues from Kevin, right? He's
No, not currently.
No,
And
so
that
that would be
usually
inside.
is
that would
yeah,
make sense that
mm.
then that's Ube, right? Because if Jurassic World is, do people really listen to this? I'm having a moment of existential crisis where we just like, do people like this? Of us, like, our like our oh jeez.
This is the realest we've ever been. I don't know, Mike, because I'm with you right now. We have tinfoil hats on right now.
Right?
And this isn't even our coast.
Oh my goodness.
Why does it matter? I mean, people are like, I hope people are listening. If you're still listening, please fucking let us know.
Yeah. And do you like it? Like,
Send us a
because this is
voicemail.
what the show is. Like,
If
guess-
this is the first time you're listening to us, you've heard me go on about WWE. Mike has made me laugh uncontrollably at least 10 times. And Jonathan is trying to keep us together.
but we're like
Try
going
my
on
best.
like hour 3 of just like
It's only 2:15 so far.
okay. It's not as low.
This isn't like the 31 or 30 review, whatever that fucking episode was that was like 5 hours long. Okay, moving
Sorry.
on.
Okay. All right. I will.
Whew,
Soundstage 15.
that was funny. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up, Fallout.
Hold up.
Walton Goggins. Woo! Big sets.
Yeah. I would think this would be the one to get the Soundstage 15 treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. But I could also see them putting it in Ube because I don't know. They want something more popular in that soundstage to get people in. It's probably just Fallout though. All right, T-Pad.
Which we know what it is.
That one is the Scarecrow.
This
Right?
Scarecrow the repeat. There it is.
Scarecrow the repeat. I like
Oh,
that.
somebody on the live said what repeat pad. Repeat pad. It was really
Oh yeah.
funny. It was a pun on T-Pad, and I'm not doing it service right now, but boy did it make me giggle. That's what it's called now, repeat pad.
It's true.
Let's go take a trip to John Murdy's carnival, everybody.
Don't ever say that again.
The terror tram. Do you people really like this?
Right?
I'm gonna have that crisis at least 10 times an episode now, Mike.
Do people really listen to this? Of us just
The terror tram, look, it's a circus tent.
2 theories.
There are 2, and one of them is those clowns that are killer
Yeah.
from outer space.
And the other one is Murdy's favorite tram
Yep.
theme.
Eli Roth and John Murdy. Eli Roth has not been
Borderlands.
associated since like 2010. Borderlands. Eli Roth has not been associated with the event since he made Hollywood Harry, so he would not be associated. They own the rights. Putting that out
Yeah.
there. I learned that on the live as well.
There we go.
Our Hollywood listeners keep me in check, and I appreciate it.
All right, what do we got next?
No, which one would you rather choose? Killer Clowns or Hollywood Harry?
Ooh, I think the clowns could be fun on those sets.
Yeah,
Like,
they could.
the clowns in the War of the Worlds.
Be hilarious.
They caused a fucking plane crash? Like, what? That'd be kind of cool. But I like Hollywood Harry a lot. But I liked that, like, Halloween-themed tram that year.
Yeah, I think if it did Hollywood Harry again, it wouldn't be as good as that one, and I would be upset. So I
Yeah.
kind of want them to just do something different and just put the clowns on the tram.
Fair.
Apparently, Eli Roth also did Thanksgiving. I did not know.
He
this.
did.
Thanksgiving?
Yeah, the horror movie Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So I was thinking about
from 2020
Thanksgiving.
That was 2023, right? Thanksgiving.
Yeah. It was overrated, but that's whatever.
Was it popular?
People loved it. It was like it did numbers. People absolutely were raving about it, and I went to see it. I'm like, I'm so excited. And the beginning of the movie was so cool and interesting, and then it just became bland Scream, and it just got so boring.
Apparently,
and the
there's
writing
a sequel.
was
There's a sequel coming.
because it made money. People loved it. I just thought the writing and it was just so bland. And the part where it's supposed to get really cool lasted for 2 minutes, and I didn't like it. But I don't like slashers in general, so it's probably just my taste. But I was not a big fan of that one. H-Lot 10-2. Poltergeist.
Yep.
It's Poltergeist. Like, that's it. Like,
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. Kevin like caused Scarecrow and Poltergeist to be on these places on the map. I guarantee you, if Kevin did not like take those pictures that were the facades, they would not be here right now.
Yeah, I would say, not to toot our own horn, but Kevin especially has definitely like swayed this map. He's like,
yes,
we don't break rumors. Like we're not like we don't talk about, like, we're not insiders. But when it comes to like the facades, and Kevin's work, we will talk about those. And I think that's definitely influenced this map quite a bit.
100%, and especially when it comes to locations. Not even a question. Okay, we talked about Poltergeist. Anyone want to take H-Lot Tent 1?
Yeah, this one is we talked about it before. Back when I had my existential crisis, it is rumored to be Five Nights at Freddy's, but we don't think it is.
Yeah, no. We think it's Terrifier because we trust Kevin.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we also got the Crow Scare Zone again. We have the Purge show, and we also have another unknown show, which is where the DreamWorks Theater is.
Yep.
Which is last year. Did we have a show there?
A Late Night with Chucky.
Ugh.
Oh yes,
God.
That's right. We had So we think that there will be another. Do we think that's returning?
No, I hope not.
Really, but I could
29 inches. I
didn't see it. I opted to go run Ghostbusters and Insidious like 4 or 5 times with the camera.
You made a great choice.
I know I did.
That was so much better than listen to him say those things.
Yeah. No, Duff and Mary went, and I'm pretty sure that's why there's a lot of footage from those 2 houses. Because I was like, well, we're here, and I'm not making the walk back until we're done.
Yeah.
So
You're just gonna keep doing it.
I just kept running the houses with the camera. But yeah, yay. HHN
Yay.
Hollywood 2025.
Yeah. Well, I think we did it, guys.
We did it.
Oh my
have
god,
any-
in under 2.5.
Okay. All right. It's definitely one of our longer shows. Especially since when it says Duff and I, we like 30 minutes. We've
Yeah.
had a lot to talk about though. We have a lot on the plate here. So
Yeah.
does that
And
mean
more to
I
come.
think we're finally like in it, or are we gonna have a lull for the next couple of weeks and then June is coming and then we're in it? Do you think this is the kind of the last hurrah before we get a calm before the storm?
I think so. I think it's gonna lull out for like 3 weeks, and then after Memorial Day, after that weekend because that's when Epic opens. Give it a couple more weeks after that, and then
Then we'll have
That's it.
announcements.
we'll probably have rumors and like construction updates. We know we'll have that stuff, but
Yeah.
it's just gonna get real speculative out here.
Yes,
until
it
then.
is.
All right. Well, as always, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at HHN365 and on TikTok at HHN365pod. We have an amazing Discord community. The link is in the description. And we have a merch shop at HHN365.com. We didn't have any today, but you can always leave us a voicemail at 407-906-4134. And we'll see you in the streets.